Shalom, this is my first time using the Work Your Light Oracle Cards and Guidebook by Rebecca Campbell. And yeah, so I'm about to hop into a reading. This is just going to be a general spiritual guidance reading. First for myself and then to anyone else. First for me, then for everyone else. I'm about to go ahead and attempt to shuffle these bad boys. I am not the best shuffler. I'm always just so bad. But whatever. We're going to try it anyway. We're going to do what we can do. First of all, these cards are absolutely beautiful to me, which was the reason that I felt the need to get them. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Oh, my gosh. All right. That's the first time. That's the first time. We're going to try to attempt to do this 5 times. Okay, that went a little better. That went much better. That's 2. That was 2. Two. 3. Uh-oh. I'm definitely going to have to get a better tablecloth. One more. This was the 5th time, or this is what we're going to count as the 5th time. Now I'm going to cut the cards. Okay. Okay. So we are going to do the within, the without, and advice. And all of these. So we're going to turn them right side up. Here goes. Most High of all powers, I pray for your genuine love to be within this reading and that it will resonate for those who it's meant to, for their highest good. So be it. All right, so end within the person. Okay, so right now with this, I can personally say this is definitely going to resonate for me. All right, so here goes nothing. First of all, I need to figure out how in the heck does this work. right here. Great, great, great. So the first card in the within position is about boundaries. And the card asks the question, where do you need to establish better boundaries? My gosh. I definitely need to think about that more for myself personally. I tend to be a people pleaser. I'm also very empathetic. And so I really want to help. But sometimes I take on so much that I really feel like I can't help at all. Or I be wanting to help, but I don't know exactly what way I can help. And I'm kind of multi-talented, so, or at least I'd like to think that I'm multi-talented. So certain things that people need, I'm like, oh, I can do that. And then I'm like, oh, I can do that too. And I can do that too. And then I try to offer my services in all arenas and it just doesn't work out. So I know that I definitely need to do better with setting boundaries. All right, here's what it says in the book. It says you are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or even work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment. Oh my gosh, so true. Which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like much of a big deal. But before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. This is so true. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they're able to give unconditionally. So true. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? And what is it trying to communicate with you? So that is so beautiful. It definitely resonates for me, and I'm sure it can resonate for a lot of empaths and other light workers. So, where is it that you need to establish better boundaries? You know, and for empaths, it seems to be kind of hard for us to look at ourselves, even though we do. I'm not saying we don't, we do. But for some reason, sometimes when it comes to the needs of other people, we really tend to take it like we put our stuff on the back burner when the truth is we need to really deal with our things because that's the only way that we can truly be of true assistance without resentment, without feeling like, oh my God, you're draining me. Actually, it's our fault because we're not creating clear boundaries. We are too, I know for me, the one that sticks out the most is that I fear of what I'm going to look like to people when I say no. Like, I'm concerned for whatever reason about my image to them. Will it alter their opinion of me? That's a big thing for me. So I really need to sit with that and do some work on that. But anyway, this is what's going on within. We don't got no boundaries, y'all, and we need to set back, or we do have boundaries, but they're not clear. And so if they're not clear for me and you, how can we make anything clear to anyone else? In fact, what will happen is, and this is the truth, I know you guys will feel me when I say this. What will happen is we have these boundaries in our minds to ourselves. Like, okay, we're not going to say it, but when this happens, then we're going to speak up about it. What that looks like to other people, though, is that you're flip-flopping or like you are making this stuff up as you go. which can make you seem wishy-washy. And who likes anyone that's flaky or wishy-washy? No one, not even you. So we definitely need to work on this, hands down. I can speak for myself if no one else. I need to do this. All right. In the outside position. That's so funny. So let's see. I'm going to first find this card in this book, and then I'll better be able to do this. Come on now, help me. Let's go faster. This is really beautiful though. Okay, so I don't think this is what I'm looking for. So is it more here in the front? Here we go. All right, so I'm not really understanding this in the... Okay, let me take my time and listen real quick. And I know that as the reading goes on, it'll probably make way more sense to me. Wow. Okay, so I think I have a little bit more of an understanding of what this card means in the supposed without position. It's to me, it's kind of like a connection to this first one that's going on within us. So basically, some of us either may be aware, this could be confirmation that we need to set boundaries or clear boundaries. But for some of us, this might be, it may not have been so clear. And you hear this and you're like, no, I create boundaries. No, I'm good at that. But maybe you're not. Or for some of us, this could have been like, no, if I create boundaries, I'm going to come across as mean, or people aren't going to want to deal with me anymore, or I might hurt someone's feelings, or people may walk away from me altogether. In the without position, it says, just say yes. So what I think this is in reference to with this particular message is just say yes to creating boundaries. Just say yes. Don't try to figure it out. Don't worry. Don't overthink it. Don't be concerned about who may not be okay with these boundaries that you're about to create for yourself, because you need to do it. You have to do this in order for you to progress in your healing, in order for you to really be of assistance to anyone, including yourself. You got to create these boundaries and you need to be clear with them. So that's going to require you going within yourself and paying attention to the things that even you need. And the beauty about that is that when we are authentic with ourselves, then we can present this same authenticity to other people. And then when you do that, you are in essence shining and working your light, because it will inspire other people to do the same. We can't inspire people in our healing journeys and in our practices about, like, when it comes up to having to tell them and teach them about boundaries, we will not be able to do that if we don't first create them ourselves. Right? So basically, in the without position, it's like the universe is telling us, the Most High is telling us, listen, you need to create these boundaries and you need to stick to them. And if you don't know what you need, that's a problem. And so you need to take your time out. This is so for me first, by the way. A lot of us kind of get so excited about helping other people that sometimes we lose track of what it is that we need. And we don't need to do that. Look at how these cards look like they connect just at this moment. That's so funny. They probably don't, but it really looks like they do. You see that? But anyway, light workers, just say yes, because it's going to help you. Don't worry about it too much. Don't stress, but create those boundaries. And to complete this in such beauty, to complete this, the advice is to fill up your well. Fill up your well. We cannot help anyone if our cups aren't full. That's the truth. And if you don't have clear set boundaries, you'll be all over the place. You'll be all over the place if you don't create any clear set boundaries. So it'll be hard for you to have time to yourself to fill up your own well. Wow. So this is a beautiful message today. A beautiful, beautiful message. I don't even think we need to read anything from the book, but I'm going to anyway. It says, fill up your well. It says, retreat, rest, and refuel. So I believe that this right here, this portion that we're going to do here, that you're going to need to say yes to doing, either way, we need to say yes. Because doing this, which will cause us to have time to go inside, to look around in there, to be honest with ourselves, to see what it is that we're so afraid of when it comes to having to set boundaries. Taking this time out, if we use it for the right reasons, can help us to set our clear boundaries, right? It can help us to set our boundaries. We got to do this. We must do this. You got to make this happen for yourself. You might have been running around trying to help everybody else out lately. And the advice, baby, is, and more than just this, the walls are closing in on you because we haven't done this part. Because we haven't gone inside, we haven't figured out what we really need ourselves, or we're not facing it. We're not being truthful about what it is that we want and need. We haven't said yes to creating boundaries. Well, now it's time to just say yes to this retreat, honey. It's time to say yes to going inside so that you can finally say no when you need to and yes when you need to. This is going to give us so much insight. This part right here, this is going to give us all the clarity that we need if we allow it to. If we allow it to. So that's the general reading. You need to create boundaries. So you need to go within yourself to fill up your well. Get away from people. Get into some solitude. Don't help nobody. Stop for a while. Just put everything on pause. Rest. Re-energize yourself. From that resting and re-energizing yourself, you should be able to come up with some boundaries during that time period. Let me go ahead and read this from the book real quick. Fill up your well, it tells us. I believe that would probably be in the action cards, but I'm not entirely sure. Here it was. That was the correct thought. Fill up your well. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The most selfless thing you can do is to fill up your own inner well. When we are running around half filled, we subconsciously look to things and people around us to give us the nourishment and nurturing that we so deeply crave. Nothing can grow in barren lands, and you are no good to anyone if you're running on empty. The feminine is bountiful, fertile, and rich. Tend to your own well and watch as the amount you have to give multiplies. If your inner well isn't full, you will find yourself craving things from the outside world to fill it. This is our body's instinctive way of reaching for the grounding and nurturing that we are not allowing ourselves. So what nourishes you? What refuels your body? What is nectar for your soul? What brings you back to life? What is your secret medicine? What makes you feel abundant and fertile? Overspilling with life. It may be gardening, arranging flowers, getting a massage, using luxurious essential oils, snuggling up on the couch, hiking, sipping a good coffee at your favorite cafe, attending a woman's circle, reading about sacred sites, spontaneous bike rides, walking along the beach, or yin yoga. Whatever nourishes you is your medicine. And when you give yourself the medicine that you need to be nourished, you nourish all those around you. For there is more than enough to go around. So do something to fill up your well today. So yeah, the general spiritual guidance is we need to fill up our wells, because inside we have been harboring some resentment. We've been running on empty or close to empty, trying to please everyone else because we don't have clear set boundaries. Some of us have just been saying yes, yes, yes when we really should have been saying no, because you need to rest and you need to pay attention to yourself, but you haven't been. So now you need to say yes to refueling so that you can come up with some clear cut boundaries. And you don't need to overthink it. You need to go inside yourself, listen to what your soul and your spirit lets you know. Listen to the way that these experiences have made you feel. If you felt depleted, why? If you've experienced some resentment, why? You got to be honest with yourself and be like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Well, now since I know that this really upsets me, or now since I know that I really didn't want to do that, I'm going to say yes to creating a boundary that's clear for myself and for other people. That way, from here on out, I'll only be saying yes to what I really want to do, and I'll say no for what I don't want to do. And I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to feel bad about it. It'll be my truth. So with that being said, say yes to filling up your own well so that you can create boundaries. Say yes to yourself. That's the message to me. That's the overall thing that just came. Say yes to yourself. You say yes to everybody else. Say yes to you. Shalom.